everyone, this is Marika from Kitten Digital, and today I will be showing you some basic Goodnotes. So I'll be using the free blank notebook available on cozykittendigital.com to show you most of these, but other than that, let's get to it. So first, you start off with your documents. And in Goodnotes, you can have folders and you can have notebooks. In order to create either a new folder or a notebook, you click on the plus over there and you can click notebook, folder, image. You can even scan documents, take photos, or import PDFs from other locations, such as your files in Apple. Let me quickly show you when you create a new notebook. So you can click new, and then you can choose a cover, and there are plenty of covers to choose from. So for instance, let's look at that one, and then you can also choose different paper. So you have different kinds of blank, you have dotted paper, square paper, ruled, narrow rules, black, white, you have writing paper, so ledgers, and there are many different standard that come with Goodnotes. So let's make one that has legal. So let's create that. So there you've created a notebook. So there's the cover and there's the page. So now that you have your notebook, one of the most important tools that you have is the toggle between read and edit, which is up here. So when there are no editing tools at the top, you're reading and you can easily swipe between things. This is important, so going back to the notebook, if you have something that's hyperlinked and you want to go somewhere, you can tap on the hyperlinks. Whereas when you're in edit mode, you cannot tap to hyperlink. So that's the big difference between edit and reading mode. Obviously then the different options to edit with. So the next button over here is the add page. So if you want to add a new page, you can add from the current template or all the different templates that Goodnotes has. So you go back to that page. So that's something that you can do as well. Then you have the tools at the top. This is a zoom tool, so you can zoom in and then you can edit more finely if you like. For instance, if your planner or your notebook doesn't zoom in enough for you. Then after that, you have all your different editing tools. So the first one being your pen. So you have different options. You've got fountain pen, which can look like that, or you can change the different fountain pen, pressure sensitivity, so the harder you write, the thicker the line. You have a ballpoint pen, which is basically a ballpoint pen, and you have a brush pen. So again, you have pressure sensitivity, so the harder you push, the thicker the ink. With the pen, you have different colors. So over here you choose the different color, and if you tap on a color, you can click on a preset. You can customize using those, you can use hex codes, or you can even use the circle. If you do make a custom color, you need to add it to your presets to keep it. You then have 3 options for colors at the top for quick access. So if you have 3 favorite colors, you can quickly move between those. So if you use one color for each heading, you can use that. Then over here are the thickness settings. So you have 3 options for thickness. You have a thin, medium, and thick option, and you can set those as you like. And that's all the options for the pen. Then currently I'm actually using the eraser option. So you've got options for the eraser, so erasing an entire stroke. So for instance, if I did that, all I have to do with the eraser is just tap there and it erases the entire stroke. So you can toggle that on and off. There's erase highlighter only. So if you have lettering with highlight and you've toggled the eraser with highlighter only, you only erase the highlighter. You also have the option to auto deselect, well, clear page firstly, and auto deselect. So that means that if you've written something down, you choose the eraser, you use the eraser, and once you remove your pen from the screen, it automatically deselects the eraser. So that saves a little time, so you don't have to tap between pen and eraser if you're taking notes quickly in class. With the eraser, you have 3 size options, which you can select before using or at any time if you don't have the auto deselect. The third tool is the highlighter, which we've already used. Very simple. So you have the option to draw in a straight line. So if you do that, it automatically goes in a straight line. That's not the case if you do squiggly things like that. So with the highlighter, you also have the option for 3 colors so that you can toggle between 3 quickly. And you also have the option for the 3 different thicknesses at the top, which you can also, like the pen, alter. Next, you have the shape option. So this will then automatically snap to shapes when you have roughly that shape in mind. So for instance, if I want to draw a triangle, it automatically snaps that, circle, or oval in that case, square. Ooh, there we go. Apparently my squares are circles and ovals, but as you can see, it snaps the shape. You also have the option to require to hold to snap, so you can do that, and then that way, if you hold to snap, you can actually alter. There we go. And then you also have the option for fill color. So once you do that, it fills the color, as you can see there. So very simple tool. Similarly to the pen, it has the different colors and the different thickness of the pen. So it basically emulates your pen options, but it automatically snaps. The next tool is possibly your best friend in the entire Goodnotes. So let's say you have a few random pictures and you want to say move that one to a different position. You can. So this is called the Lasso tool. You basically lasso like you would a bronco and you move it around. Or you can lasso, tap. You have the option to cut, copy, delete, resize. So then if you use it as an image, you can recolor. If you've used a pen or text, you can take a screenshot, add element which we'll get to, or you can convert, for instance, text in a straight line. There we go, hello world, as you can see, and then you can copy and do whatever you want with those words. So that's the lasso tool. As I said, your best friend. You can also lasso a whole bunch of stuff. The thing about the lasso tool is if you even only grab a corner of one solid thing, it will only grab that. But for words, so for instance, if there's a break in the line, it won't grab that. So for words, it's generally good to grab the whole thing, but for shapes, you can just grab a corner. Your lasso tool, best friend. Then there are elements. So elements are almost stickers in Goodnotes. So you can actually put stickers in Goodnotes if you want. So for instance, I have a few stickers over there that I've inserted, but let's use the standard ones from Goodnotes. So you have some sticky notes, for instance, and then it comes out as an image, and you can write on those, and then you can add maybe some grid paper because you want to make a note or you want to make a drawing. So then you do that, and now we have a graph. So elements are basically stickers within Goodnotes. To add an element, you can click add and you can add a new collection. So let's say demo, and you can import from files or from photos. So I want to import that. Let's import that, some arrows, and add, and there we go. So I have some. So I've created my own collection called demo. So then if I want to use that heart, I can just use it there. There we go. Then this is your image tool. So if you have any images in your photo library, so for instance this savings jar over here, you can add it in like that. You can, if you have the image tool selected, you can select an image and you can resize it. You can crop it. So let's say we just want the jar part. Done. But we don't want that little white border, so you can crop it, and you can freestyle crop as well. And then you can select around the jar. There we go. So now we have the jar. Let's put that over there. And that's images. And you can also use your camera if you like to add an image. So if you want to take a photo, you can. And if you just tap if you have the tool selected and you tap randomly somewhere, you actually have a bigger picture of what you want to see. There we go. The next is, let's resize this. There we go. The next is the text tool. So this is where you create text boxes, if you will. So the first option for text is the font, and you have so many options at your disposal. My favorites are those. So then you also have size options. You can select your paragraph, so spacing, generally tick automatic, but you can choose for yourself. You can change the spacing. Again, you have different colors. You can choose different backgrounds, so you can choose a background color, a border. Do you want rounded corner? Do you want a shadow? How thick do you want the border? Do you want padding? So you can get your presets, which are like those, or you could change the advanced. And then this is a way of saving whatever settings you currently have as your default, so that whenever you deselect the text and you go back, it chooses the size that you wanted. So let's make a heading. So you tap on there and we say savings jar, but we want to change the color, so we can actually see, there we go. And then you can resize so that the banner could be bigger if you want, and then let's center that. There we go. So those are your text options. if you have a text and you choose your lasso tool, and you can recolor, so that looks a bit better, and that's your text. Then the last option you have over here is if you're presenting. So you have the dot that you present with. So if you say showing your screen on a Zoom call, you can share like that, or you have the line that eventually fades. So those are your main tool options. So now there are a few other things just to keep in mind with Goodnotes for basics, that is. So over here you have the share button, so you can export a single page, or you can export, for instance, the whole PDF. You can export it as a Goodnotes file, a PDF, an image, and it will save each page as an image, or the selected page if you choose just this page. And if you do save as a PDF, you can save it flattened, so it's a smaller file, or editable, so people can edit it if they like. You also have the option to present, so if you want to present the entire screen, just the full page, so the audience only sees the page, or you can mirror what you're doing on there. You can also print, so you can print this page or print them all. So if you have imported a contract or PDF that you've edited, you can do that. You can favorite the current project you're working on. It has text recognition, so if you're somewhere else and you want to search, so even your handwriting recognition. So let's do that's bad. There we go. So I've got a few words. So if I search for hello, it will tell me on which page I have hello on. If I search for blank, it shows me everywhere I have blank. This is what makes Goodnotes great for note-taking. So if you've got a notebook full of notes and you're searching a specific topic, it's still got handwriting recognition. Then the last thing, the thumbnail options. So you can outline individual pages. So if say this note of yours is your favorite, so as I said, you can favorite different projects. So if you have a different page, you can favorite that. And then you can click on favorites. Or if you want outline, so you can add page to outline and call this math. You can say then this is your English. And then you can look at outlines only. So if you, for instance, have chapter 1, chapter 2, you can do that as well. It just makes it easier. And that is it for Goodnotes basics in terms of editing. So those are the basics. I thought I might also give you 5 tips when it comes to Goodnotes. So let's add that, and we say, I love learning. The tip number 1, Lasso Tool. So if you want to move the writing but not the image, you want to keep the image where it is, with the Lasso Tool you'll then untick text boxes or images, and you'll lasso and you'll move the handwriting. Or you want to leave the handwriting where it is and you just want to take the images, you lasso that way. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, let's say we want to add a purple heart, or let's say we want to add background like this. Now, unfortunately, the I Love Learning is at the back. So how you get that back is by using the Lasso Tool, moving just the top image, you lasso that, you cut and paste. So the last thing that you inserted into the document is the image that will be on top. So if you want to move something back, you have to cut and paste the previous image. So then the next tip is how to resize your highlighter. So let's say you have a highlighted box like this, or apparently again a circle. If you tap on the highlighter with your finger, you can actually resize it. Tapping the highlighter with your finger allows you to resize it. There we go. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4, snapping with a pen. So we've mentioned that you can use shapes, or if you're in the middle of writing notes and you just don't want to toggle between different things, you can write and hold, there's a straight line. Write and hold. Apparently again all my squares are circles. Last tip is if you do have multiple images on top of each other and you want to move them, the Lasso Tool won't help because it will move every single one. So if you want to individually move them, you need to click on the image tool, tap on it, and then move the images apart. And that's tip number 5. So I hope you enjoyed that, and you must have an absolutely lovely day. If you want more videos like this, so plan with me, learning how to use Goodnotes, subscribe and you'll be notified when the next one comes out. Until then, have a great one.